Hey guys, it's Pat from Pat's Brewery, and this week we are doing a New England IPA. So this is actually the first New England IPA I've ever brewed. So a little bit daunting of a task this week. I have got a recipe off of the Grainfather library, which I then tweaked. Mainly the hops, because I just thought that, I'll talk about the hops a little bit later, but we'll go into that. At the moment, we are heating up the HLT, and we have just added the grains to the mash tun. With regards to the grain bill, it is so 4.21 kilos of crisp clear choice pale malt. It is 410 grams of Carapils, 620 grams of light wheat malt, and 820 grams of flaked malted oats. So I believe that's the main one that will give us the cloudy aspect of our New England IPA. Sounds like an okay grain bill to me from what I could see. We'll see how that all goes. With regards to the ABV we're hoping to achieve out of this grain bill is about a 6.2% BR. So we will see. Got a few things I need to weigh out while the HLT is coming up to temp, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we are still waiting for the HLT to come up to boil. So I'm just measuring out my hops. I know, maybe a little bit preemptive, but you know, why not be prepared? So we're only going with one hop drop during the actual brew day today. And that is all in the aroma, 80 degrees. We are going with 58 grams of Mosaic, 58 grams of Amarillo, 58 grams of Citra, although technically I only had 59 grams left in the bag, annoyingly. So we are 1 gram short on that. But then we're also using Centennial, 29 grams of this. Now this is the first time I've used Centennial. I've got to be honest, that's a nice smelling hop. It's definitely got this kind of light fruit, kind of minty maybe. Yeah, it's nice. It's not, I'm hoping that this will bring something slightly different to something. Obviously I love the other hops, but that's different. So I'm hoping that that will definitely kind of give a different characteristic to maybe me other IPA that I'm just completed doing, which has a lot of the same sort of hoppage. So nice to have something a little bit different. This isn't actually the hop that I mentioned earlier that's a little bit different. That is actually going in the dry hop. I feel like an addict just taking a whiff. Let's close that up while I carry on talking. So the hop that I'm talking about that I haven't used previously, again, a very new hop for me, is I think it's IHO 33, which sounds more like a chemical than it does a hop. But basically I done a Lucky Dip hop bag from the malt miller, and that's what I got. Apparently it is very lemony in flavour and aroma, so I'm hoping that that gives it a little bit more of a slightly different take. I've not really heard many people talk about juicy New England IPAs with the term of like lemony, so I'm hoping that this will give us something, but I don't know, I may be completely blowing that. Obviously there's a lot of other things going into the dry hop as well. I'll talk about them later, but that's the new hop that I mentioned, so while I remember sometimes I forget to talk about the dry hopping. But yeah, that's it. So another wet mash. I've been doing a lot more of these recently. We've got a 68 degree mash temp. We wanted 67.5, so you know, half a degree is not bad for me. I'll give it a bit more of a stir and it'll drop a little bit. Hopefully we'll get a nice full body with this. Right, let's cover over it. We're actually going for a longer mash time today, but shorter boil, so hopefully the brew day will be the same length in time. But anyway, see you again later. So we are now mashing in. Yeah, I can see a little bit of cloudiness. That's because the actual grain has somehow got through already. But yeah, we're going to just start sparging and see how we go. Nice big hop drop at 77. So, makes life a little bit easier with a smaller fermenter, able to just put it on the floor here. So we're up to 21 litres, looking for about 22, 23. Still got some in there, that'll drain nicely. Now we are using Imperial yeast. Now, I'm not too sure how we're going to do on the cell count. Probably should have made a starter, but I forgot. Let's go and down and up. Over it and count. Let's get it up like that. Oh, you guys watching?
What's happening?
So we just dropped some hops down out of that into the main fermenter.
Can I see the...
So there we have it, brew day all done, and we have been in the keg for, I believe, a week. So I think it's about time for us to try my very first brewed New England IPA. Now, do New England IPAs have certain glasses? I don't think they do. So I'm going to go with this one. Right, now, what can I tell you first of all about how the brew day went? Brew day overall I think was okay from memory. Dry hopping using the hop dropper or the hop bong hop dropper thing from Kegland, that was okay. I've got more to talk about that whole thing maybe in a separate video, but you know, it went okay. So let's get this poured. That was a bit of a slow pour. I might need to check my gas. So, first things first. Colour isn't as orange as I was expecting it to be. And I do have a reason for that, and it's a mistake on my part. Part of the original recipe that I was looking at for this, it also included honey malt, which at the time was out of stock at the malt miller, and I didn't think to replace it in the recipe builder with something else or anything like that. So rather than a orange, we have definitely got more of a cloudy yellow with a slight tinge or orange maybe in there. Obviously as a New England IPA, can't see through that, so hit the brief on that aspect. ABV. So we was looking for a 6.2% beer. We ended up with a 5.9. So a little bit low on the ABV, but not out of the ballpark. IBUs generated from the whirlpool was around 30 IBUs, I believe. So I think that's okay. With regards to the smell, super fruity, a lot of citrus. Now the hop that I think I did mention, which I included on the dry hop, and I have in my other samples of this, I have already been able to tell that it is in there, but it's the IHO33, which I got as a lucky dip hop from the malt miller. And some of the main characteristics of it was citrus and lemon, and I think I can definitely get that from the taste more than the aroma. But let's have a little sip and see if I can definitely get it this time. Yeah, so that's lemon tropical. That's what I'm getting. The other hops in this was Amarillo, Citra. What else did we have in there? I said it in the previous part of the video, but I can't remember the rest of it because it's on my phone, and I've started filming on my phone now. So yeah, there's Citra, Amarillo, and this IHO33 were the dry hops. Went with a double dry hop, one after 3 days and one when we had a week left in there. For the first dry hop, I dry hopped at 18 degrees, which I know quite a lot of people have said, oh, you shouldn't really do that because obviously your fermentation is still going through. You can get quite a bit of bitterness or perceived bitterness from you know, the green aspects of the hop being churned up by the yeast, but I'm liking that. I'm glad I didn't try and do something like using that IHO33 on its own. I don't think it would have carried the beer. I've still got a little bit left. I think I've got about 30 odd grams of it left, so that'll probably go in with another IPA beer that I'll brew at some point. I say this is very tropical, very kind of juicy, very salivation, generating salivation. I don't know. It's an enjoyable beer. I think on my little sheets that I'll be giving to people on Pattoberfest, I'll be giving a little bit of a notes and descriptions against each of the beers, and I will have to mention, yes, it is meant to be hazy, just in case some people aren't familiar with New England IPAs. I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty slow on the trend. People have been loving hazy beers for a good 2, maybe 3 years now. Probably more, and probably even further behind on the trend than I realise, but it's one that I've not really gone towards. I think because there's a few other styles that I wanted to kind of prioritise first, but I think it's definitely something that I'll be doing a few more of. Maybe doing, as I say, like a hazy pale, so a slightly lower percentage might be the next beer that I do, which will be on the haze train. But this is a really nice one because it's kind of got this nice kind of, I mean, it does look like a orangey lemon tropical fruit juice, although even they're a little bit clearer than that, aren't they? But I'd expect there to be a bit of pineapple or something, and I don't know if I'm getting any pineapple, but I mean, like, by the look of it, you know, you look at that and go, oh, I bet there's a bit of pineapple or something in there, but I think maybe, you know, all of the standard citruses, but you know, of the whole grapefruit, and maybe I'm getting a little bit of peach, which I know isn't citrus, but that kind of tropical aspect, or is it passion fruit maybe? I don't know. But that is a lovely beer. It is. I think if people were willing to accept a little bit of haziness, I reckon that could be top 3 at least of Packtoberfest 2023. Only one more beer to go. That's being kegged at the moment. And that's the mild. So you should be getting that next week as a video. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. As I say, I'm just going to check the gas, make sure that we're at the right pressures. So I think the carbonation levels about right, maybe a little bit more is needed with regards to just generating a little bit of more head, but I think that'll do us pretty nicely. I would be interested to see if I did brew this again with the honey malt as well, what the change in kind of the malt bill would kind of be with regards to colour and bits. Good stuff, good stuff. Right, so the bit that I'm sure you're all waiting for again is the labelling for this one, and also the name. So as I say, this is a beer that I took the recipe from somewhere online, so I've also used their name, but it's my labelling, so you know. But the name that they'd given it was Soft and Juicy. So here is something soft and juicy. Right, so if you're going, what the hell is this, Pat? Well, it's a case of, this is my mate Bob. He said, Pat, I want to be the face of one of your beers. He'd also previously shared a picture of himself out in a dress. So, here you go, Bob, this is for you. Serves yourself right. You shouldn't be sharing pictures of yourself and not expecting your mates to take the piss. So there you go. Soft and Juicy Bob. Maybe that should be the full name, Soft and Juicy Bob. Oh dear. Well, on that lovely thought, I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.